Welcome to another NUCIDA training session to get more familiar with Xray. First, we must navigate to the Xray settings, and they are found under the project settings in your left panel. And when you come to the Xray settings, we have dealt with test coverage, defect mapping, etc. in other tutorials. Now, it's time for us to jump onto the test environment. It's pretty much to understand that, when I go to create some issues, I may be required to capture some information. For example, if I go to the test and create a new test, I have to run these tests in different environments. Of course, you may wonder that, why should not we be able to capture environments right at the test level, because the test is generic and created for any environment to be executed in. If in case you're interested to capture, you can do so, but I don't know, what exactly does it make sense about? You don't need an environment to be captured at the test case level, because a lot of people do ask me that, how to add environments at the test case level. But trust me, writing a test case is a different thing. Running it in environments is a different thing. So executions are something which you will need the environment to be captured in. Now, if I drop here and select test execution, I think there's a need to have a test environment field, which is currently not here. So you can look forward to configuring or asking your administrator to enable that field to be visible on the screen, so that you can tag them right here. But this can be done even offline because it's just not on the create a screen. Once the executions are created, you can pretty much do the same thing. Now, let's go ahead here and let's see how to declare the environments, so that you can make use of them at the issue level. So, you can use the button here called as Create Environment and just click on this and define whatever you would like to call them as. Now, environments can be created for different naming conventions. For example, if you're using a staging pipeline, you can say Dev, QA, UAT, SIT, or Pre-Prod, and so on. Similarly, if you're using it for mobile applications, you may make use of iOS, Android, Windows, etc. So, you can target your environment accordingly. Now again, I don't have to tell much more about what exactly the environments are. If it is specific to your organization, you can determine your set of environments right here. Now, let's go ahead and look into creations of these. I'll be just using some of the environments like Dev. You can also describe the environment like what exactly this environment is all about. Thus, I may say like development environment, right? And you can also copy-paste the URL required to work on this, and you can make direct links directly from here. Click on Save. I may not be doing it. Okay, so I think I just created it. Let me just refresh this page and check. Okay, let's come here and let's create an environment. So, it should have been created. Yeah, exactly. I think I tried it for some other purposes. So, it is already existing. Let me just go and call them, right? Anyways, just that is the process to create an environment, if you're creating it for the first time. If you have created it for, the initial time already, then you can just add them, if you have removed them. Thus, I'll just click on this and add my environments, and I'm going to use this UAT. Now, that's a good thing. Again, we may get to know the use of both the buttons. If you have already created an environment globally, then you can add them into the project. Click on Save here and you would find the 4 environments listed, and now you're ready to make use of them. Now, let's go ahead and quickly jump onto something here and let me just take you to a test, so that you can understand what exactly we are referring to. If we plug the test here, again, a test may not need the environment specifically, right? You don't see an environment field here, because there's no need to capture such information. But, if I quickly jump back again and look forward to an execution, then execution does make sense that, hey, you have created a test execution, where would you like to run that, right? So, I have a field here dedicated to capture the environment, in which you want to run or which you have run this already, right? So, you can click here. You can just click on the None button, and drop down and select the environment, in which you have executed this, right? Or, if you have included or executed this test in multiple environments back to back, You can also tag them here in detail, so that it can be displayed to you right here. Let me just quickly refresh this. And they are tabbed. Now, you would have the information at the environment level. So, you can always click this because it's not directly representable. And when you come here you can say yes, these are the two environments where this execution has been done, right? So you can capture them well right at this. Another thing is, if I would like to run this test once again, or probably I create a new requirement, or a new execution, I can tag them to the new executions as well, and they will be visible in the execution details, too. Let's click on this window instead of running it right now. Let's open the execution details and have a look that do we have the environment details being displayed if you go to run a test in the Xray. Now, that's interesting to see. Here, we got a test environment field. And I can see the environment details that yes, we are talking about two environments right now and you are running them in DEV as well as QA in parallel, right? But again, it does make sense if you're running one at a time and you're creating different executions for different environments. But it's up to you how would you like to do them, right? There are no restrictions as such. Now, let's go back to look into the reporting part that what exactly this could do when it comes to any particular output. Let's see if this is going back to your requirement, and let me pick up a test here, which must have relationship to the story where we are testing them. So, let's have a look here. Yeah, so let's go to the story MFP28. If you look at the story right now, it has two tests. They're not yet executed, so it is showing no run. If you run them, you would also have, the filters by the environment. You can check what's the status on the dev environment. There's it in dev, it is in to do, and for kind of, any other environment you can see them like they're still in to do in all the environments because we have not tagged any environment. So, if you're looking particularly on this test, and you're tagging it to another. For example, if I go to this MFP2, okay. Let me pick up a test, which we linked earlier to the requirement. So, let's see if there's a development story here. Okay. What I wanted to show you that, if we have run both the test in a particular, execution, then it would even show you that, if it is okay or not okay. You can drop down here and view the filter criteria, and you can pull it in, and it will show you whether what's the status of the execution. So, the point here what I wanted to justify you here, that you can make use of the environment filter as well to see whether this coverage is only from one particular environment or multiple environments. Right now, it says that, yeah, you might have executed, but not both tests have been executed there. So, this is the drawback of having it being captured before or after execution. You should always tag your environment once the execution is created, and then pull this into the execution so that details can be captured and then displayed through. So, it will result into no run, which is not executed, and environments are pending to do. Right, so this is how the environment works, and you can pretty much do a better tracking of all your executions using the test environment. Happy testing and see you next time.